What's good, creatives? It's me again, Tunji from Ceasar Graphics, and welcome to my weekly design review. Today, I have designs I'm going to be critiquing, but before we get to the critiquing of the design, I want to quickly let you guys know that one of the ways you can achieve good design, all right, whenever you ask to work on design project, one of the ways you can know what to come up with is when you have this thing I'm about to say in mind, all right. See design as you creating a project that's when people see it, it makes them stop. It makes them think. It makes them go and then do. The stopping is you creating a project that draws their attention. Then the thinking part is you making them stop to, start solving the equation of the project or trying to digest the information on the project. Now, the go part is after they've taken the information from the project, all right, and then the doing part is them working on doing what the information on the project is talking about. So I'm going to stop here on this and I'll go straight to the design that I have for today and tell you guys what is working on the project and what is not working on the project. This is the first design I'm going to critique today. And what I like about this design is number one, the simplicity and then the use of color here. All right. Now, guys, I know so many of you may think, okay, so does it mean I'm not supposed to use too many colors on my project? Now, I'm not saying you should not use too many colors on your project, but what I'm just trying to say here is there are ways you can, play with too many colors. Now, the use of too many colors, all right? You only do that, you only use too many colors if you understand the target audience, all right? If you understand the target audience, I'm not going to focus on the using of color now. I have a tutorial on my YouTube channel that explain how to achieve good colors. Okay, in fact, I have so many tutorials that I believe if you don't joke with them, in fact, I've given you guys more of my premium training. All right, so if you can watch that tutorial, it will help you with understanding the use of color. So I like the fact that we have, the way the designer played with the color here, beautiful. All right, beautiful color combination. The use of white space here is beautiful. Nice white space. It's easy for me to see the content, the information on the design. But the problem I have with this is that the composition is not really balanced, and I'll tell you guys why. Number one is we have too many contrasts. All right. When I say too many contrasts, I'm talking of us having something, too many different playful style on the project. And this is the first one is this. All right. The second one is this. The third one is this. And in graphic design, all right, when we have too many contrasts, in fact, this should be the first one. Yeah, sorry for mixing it. So this is the first thing that draws so I'm going to take this out so I won't get you guys confused. Now, this is the first thing that draws their attention. The second thing is this. This is the third, and then the fourth. All right. Now, in graphic design, okay, if you have too many contrasts, it's going to make the project look confusing. All right. It's going to make the project look confusing. And in every design project, you should have something that is different, something that people can see and will draw their attention to want to read every other information on the project. Remember, I told you at the beginning of this training that when you're working on design projects, see how you can create something that will draw people's attention, which will make them stop. Then it makes them think, go, and then do what the information on the design is saying. So we don't do this well if we don't you can't achieve this when you have too many contrasts on the project. Now, why I say too many contrasts here is this. Here we have this picture, because normally images, illustrations are the first thing that draw people's attention, but visuals are the first thing that draw people's attention on every design project. And then we now have this playful title here, which I like the layout. All right. But the way we now have this date here is somehow, all right, it's now beginning to now look like, no. It's beginning to look too much. So I don't expect you to write the date this way, because I can see here that this meeting is holding from 1st to 12th of the month. And you now put this to here. No, it's not really balanced. Next time, when you have designs that carry date to the date when the event is going to end, stop splitting them. All right, stop creating this playful, like the way you did here. Stop creating this playful way of splitting them. All right, and the reason I'm going to say that to you is this. When you do things this way, all right, some people will not even see the toe. What they'll think of is, okay, this event is holding on 1st of March and is also holding on 12th of March. So when you notice you have that toe in between the days, in fact, the toe is very important. The toe is what make that date balance. You know, there's the balance part in graphic design. All right, the way you place your information also, your content on your design, there should be balance on it. So when you change the style of the information on the project, at times it always change the message. It will, in fact, if you don't arrange the information well, it can change the message on the design, which is what you did here. Because anytime you have different shapes like this, like we have this radial fill shape here, and then we have this outline shape here, it's not different from us saying first match space 12th match. Meanwhile, these two dates are supposed to be together. Forget the fact that you place them next to each other. No, when the fact that you use different shapes on the project, you are trying to depict space. In fact, the use of different shapes on our project, all right, the use of using the same shape with different style on our project is another way we create space. I hope you guys get my point. So please don't do this again. All right, don't do this again. It's not nice. And then this here is not supposed to be like this. You're not supposed to put this here. Why not just make it be on one line? Enjoy this discount offer. Then let them be just be let this be on one line, and it cannot be under the title or the way where you have it here. All right. Then the other thing I want to say here is this. You see, most time when you see this type of shape on your project, all right, is mostly used to depict it's used for two things. Number one is button. Then number two is when you're trying to say, okay, this is a board. All right. For me, I don't always advise designers to put bullet points, like information that are supposed to be on their separate points in this format. No, I'd always advise you do that. One of the best way to do this is to put separated lines in between the information and make them just have this. You can use this same color you have here on each of the text. Remember, what we're doing here is to create that, to pass an information, all right, to create a project that passes information to the audience. And one of the ways we do this well is to try as much as possible to make every information on our project visible enough for people to see. And most of the time we put one this way, it always affects the visibility of the text. All right. So for you to be able to make small text size visible, don't be putting them on boxes like this. All right. If you're using small text size on your project, don't put them in a box. And if you're going to put them in a box, make sure there's this strong contrast between that small text and the shape that you place behind it. So if I'm going to put a text on a black box, all right, or a black shape, all right, what I'm going to do is to use white color that will make that text, that's if the text is small, that will make the text stand out on that black shape. All right. So yeah. So, but aside from what I mentioned on this project, I like the simplicity. I like the color use. It's just the your composition that I think is not balanced, the use of too much contrast, and then the helping the visibility of your project. All right. But good job to the designer. All right. So I'm going to go straight to my next design, which is this. All right. So I remember when I started graphic design, guys, I always find it difficult to come up with good design, and everything changed the day I understand that there's a goal that I'm supposed to accomplish. There's a reason why I'm asked to work on the design project, and that goal should shape the look of the project. The goal should be the focus. All right. Once you've achieved the goal, then you can now start, playing with the other information on the project, but make sure those information are visible. So what I'm going to say to this designer is, please, there's a goal you are asked to accomplish here, and that goal is to help your viewers quickly get the message. But you can't achieve this when everything on the project is shouting. And I want to quickly say this to you. Now, before I say the next thing I want to say here, I wanted to let you know here that your composition here needs serious work. All right. I know that why you decided to make this look this way is because, okay, you've understood that, okay, there's a contrast, there should be the white space and so on. But there are ways to use all these things. There are ways to use the design element. There are ways to use there are ways you have to make design principles present, like occur on your project. You don't just say, okay, because I've achieved contrast, all right, I want to achieve contrast here, this is it. And then I want to achieve white space, then this is the white space part. No, there are strategic ways to do this on your project. What I'm going to say to you where you can make this balance and work well is number one, your illustration here, all right, is taking more space than the information on the project. And when your illustration is taking more space than the information on the project, it won't make the information visible. In fact, let me quickly say this to you. The information on the project is the reason why you have that project. So you have to make them visible. You have to make those information visible enough for people to see what's on the project. So I don't expect you to make your illustration this bold. All right. And one good thing about illustration is no matter how small you make it on your project, in as much as it's an illustration, it will still be visible on the project. So you now making it too loud is like you saying, okay, I don't want any other thing to be important. I don't want people to see any other thing on this project, but the visual or the illustration. So I would advise you to make this smaller. And then whenever you are trying to add effect to your title, all right, whenever you're trying to add effect to your title, make them uniform, make them look like, okay, they are together. Avoid creating separation between your title. Now, there are parts where you need to create separation, but that separation part should be little. All right, it should be something light. And I'll tell you why I'm saying this. Here we have serving with integrity, and then we now have this color on the integrity, which is not bad. But I expect you to now have this shadow behind serving with to create that balance. The shadow, all right, that you have here. Now, let me tell you this. The shadow you have behind your title here is you trying to say, okay, there's a light coming out from this side of my project that made us have this shadow on the project. All right, but it would have been nice if we had the same shadow behind the serving with. But there are times you can do what you did here, but you only do that when the information on the project calls for it. But since the information on the project did not call for it, please try make your project, make them uniform, create that connection. If I left to me, I don't expect you to have this shadow here because if you look at this paper plane here, you notice the shadow behind this paper plane here is soft. So if I'm going to apply any shadow to this, I would prefer to use a soft shadow to create that unity on the project, because there's a part of unity in the graphic design that you have to make it look like every information on your project, they work together. But since you are not going to make it this soft, please take it out. It's not necessary. So make it look like the title is printed on the background. And then the other thing I think you did not do well here is, whenever you are asked to put picture in a frame like this, all right, please stop making it too wide. All right, make it look like, always put the picture in a frame in form of a passport. That's if you're putting a picture in a frame, make it look like in form of a passport. And then let's have more of the face of the character, because the face of the character is what draws people's attention to want to come for the event. That's if this the speaker is someone who is popular. But if it's not someone who is popular, please make him bold. All right, still make him bold. Let people see the face of the person. And then the other thing again is we have too many flushing right, center, and so on the project. Your flushing left, right, your alignment is another way we create contrast in graphic design. So when you use too many flushing left, right, center, or you have everything is not well aligned, it's going to make the project heavy. It's going to make us have too many contrast on the project. Now, why I'm saying this here is because look at this. This is facing this way. This is facing this way. These are the center. This is on this side here. This is here. All right. This is facing this way. And then when I have this at the center, it's too much. So you limit the use of flushing left, right on your project, the way you limit the use of font on your project. And then the other thing I'm going to say to you here again is the way you play with color here. No, I don't really think it's okay. I don't think it's okay. It's not okay. So please, whenever you're making your text size small, please use more of bright color that will stand out on the background. I mentioned this on the previous design. And then this your venue here, please, the font size is too heavy. Too many use of different or too much of similar font size on your projects. It's going to dull the look of your design. All right, it's going to dull the look of your design. So yeah, I think that's it for this. But I like the fact that you're beginning to, use white space on your project, which made it easy for me to see the information on the project. But the part you now need to work on, if you are the designer, you're looking at me now, the part you need to work on is the part of you working on not using too much of different alignments, and also the part of understanding how you don't use color the wrong way. Because here, notice you did not, this color here is like the lighter value of this background here. All right. And what else again? Then the illustration, please avoid making your illustration too big. The information on your project is more important than that illustration. The illustration is just to draw attention or to the project. And then the use of elements, like the use of shadows on your project. Please understand your background. All right. Understand your illustration, and then use that to play with how you're going to apply shadow and other effects to the information on your project. All right, so this, I'm on the last design now, and on this very last design here, see guys, I mentioned this in the last design, that the information on the project is what draws people's attention. In fact, it's the reason why people want to get involved. All right, so if the information is hidden, people won't really want to get involved. It's like when you see a stop sign. If you see a sign without any symbol on it, you won't know what. In fact, you won't even pay attention to it. If you see a stop sign and you see the word, you see the text stop on it, okay, you're supposed to stop. And that's the same thing that applies to the way we play with the information on our design. All right, because most of our daily commands, they are more of graphics. It's graphics that we use to do most of our daily commands. So design is what we use, like what most people, most brand, most organization used to explain their points to people. So when we don't do the right design, all right, or we don't do good composition, it always it always affect the message, and it won't make the project do what the project's supposed to do. All right. Now I'm saying this here because this year, beautiful. I like the fact that we have the item on a white background, but this year is more important than just having this. If I'm asked to work on this project, what I'm just going to do is to just make this alone visible, and then making this more catch more attention. You only do this, your layout here, if you are trying to create maybe you have a profile, all right, or a portfolio, and you are trying to display the beauty of the project you did for a brand. That's when I expect you to do this. But right now, the focus is the audience, all right, and not the organization you want to work for. So I expect you to do something that the audience needs. And what is that thing that the audience need? The information. The brand you are hoping to work for, what they need is your style, your design, the look of your design, how you were able to solve the equation of achieving good design. That's what they need. But your audience don't need that. What they need is information. They want something that can make them stop and want to read the information on the design. So make sure that information is you make the information visible. All right. Or maybe I'm not the one. Maybe I'm not really getting what this design is for. I wish the designer can tell me why we have this. But if it's for a social media project, please, I expect you to please help making your viewers see what. In fact, even if it's for a brand, if it's a poster, all right, please, this is more important than this. Now you can make this bigger, all right. It's not compulsory you put this together. You can make this bigger, or you can make this bigger and forget about this. All right. You can make this one bigger and then forget about this. All right. And then you can now have your information on the design. I'm going to stop here. And before I go, I want to quickly let you guys know that graphic design is not hard. All right. For you to be able to create good design, try your best to understand the message. Ask questions. In fact, a good designer must ask questions. You need to ask the client, what is the goal? Why are we doing this? Who are the target audience? All right. Do you have designs that you see that draws your attention that you always feel like, man, I feel my brand can do something similar to this? And then you use that to create the project for the client. Now, this is not to say you should now copy the exact designs that the client sent to you. No, I'm saying you should just use that to know the taste of the clients. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you have not subscribed, guys, remember to hit the subscribe button, and also remember to check the post notification bell, because I'm going to be doing more of tutorials like this, you know, for you guys. And also, please, guys, share this with other creatives. Let them also learn, you know, from this video. Thank you all once again, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.